Hello and welcome to our very first live broadcast from 3PN Network. I'm sure you're wondering what 3PN is about. Not to worry, we're going to tell you all about it. My name is DK Jonah, and I'll have a couple of people joining me on today's conversation. And we're going to be talking about soft skills. But before we continue, let's just watch this little clip. Joining me now is FK. Hi, FK. How are
Hey
you doing
DK,
today? Okay,
I'm
I'm going
very
to.
well, thank you.
Yes, so I was saying we're going to tell them a bit about 3PN, and I think you're the best person to do just that. So the floor is yours.
Brilliant. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today at 3 p.m. This is our first ever live broadcast. So my name is Kemi, but we shortened it to FK. And as you just seen in the video, 3PN, People, Purpose, Passion Network. We are simply a social enterprise that seeks to empower young people, young Black people, that with the soft skills they need to progress in their career, to change careers, to make sure that they are advancing in their careers. So we look at focusing on the needs of the people. We evaluate what will make the people stand out. And we're very passionate. And that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this live broadcast. And that's why we have different opportunities. We bring different opportunities to the floor to ensure that people are informed, to make sure that people are networking, and to make sure that people are advancing and they are gaining opportunities to develop themselves in their career. So today, like I said, is our very first live broadcast, and we are going to be talking about soft skills, how soft skills play a vital role. So I'm going to bring back onto the platform DK and Ife, and I'm sure they'd like to introduce themselves as well and tell us a bit more about themselves.
Okay, I'll go first since I'm already unmuted. Hi, everyone. And FK, that was such an amazing introduction to 3PN. My name is DK Jonah, and I call myself a multi-potentialite. So I'm a brand strategist, a podcast host. I call myself I am the mentor to so many social media managers. So I coach social media managers, and I'm someone that I thrive in the creative industry in different capacities. Now, why did I join 3PM? Because I think the best thing we could do to the next generation is give them the opportunities we did not have. And conversations like this were not what we were seeing when we were growing up. So we wanted to create a platform where we could have conversations, engage with people, and definitely invest in the next generation, which is something I'm very passionate about. So, and I'll hand over to FA.
Thank you very much, DK. Hi, everyone. My name is Ife. I am a marketer by day, fashion designer by night. I work with the UK government running multiple campaigns targeted at the public in terms of getting their lives easier or safer, empowering them information to make important decisions that will help their life or make their life easier. And I'm also passionate about empowering sort of the younger generation. But I think lots of it comes from reflecting on my own journey, moving from Nigeria to the United Kingdom, and sort of the journey of how I've been able to sort of settle in and I would say build a thriving career. I'm still building it because it is a journey, and it's been a journey till this point, and I've learned vital lessons. I've engaged with lots of people, tapped into their experiences as well, And I'm really keen to share this as well with others who probably are just where I started when I moved to the United Kingdom, for example, and who might find it useful just so they don't make the same mistakes I made, or they are better informed to progress even beyond where I am currently. So it's about helping others sort of accelerate their own career progression, and not making the same mistakes that I made, or mentors that I follow made as well. Back to you, DK.
All right, awesome. I like that. I love the introduction, how you went through your immigration to the UK and how you're thriving. But you said fashion and you're working with the government. So double-edged sword. We love that. Absolutely love that. But FK, let's meet you a little bit. Tell us a bit about you. You've told us about 3PN, but let's hear a bit about you.
Brilliant. So guys, I'm FK, like I said earlier. This is short for Fire Chemi, and I'm actually a medical doctor. I'm a general practitioner by specialty, and 3PN for me enables me to look back at how I progressed and advanced in my career and what could have been done differently, how I could have maximized the opportunities that I have. It's never too late. And I'm so keen and passionate about 3PN because I look back at other people that are where I used to be, and I can guide them, I can advise them. I can say, you know what, I didn't have the opportunity to use this or to do this or to explore this, and the opportunities are endless. And I want people just to be able to make informed decisions about their careers and do things that they want to do, because I feel if the career decision is yours, you will excel. And not just that, if you have access to the right resources, to the right people, to the right network, you will excel. And everybody's built to excel. And that's why we're really passionate in 3PN. Our goal is to make sure that everybody excels in the right path that they're destined to excel in. So I'm really excited about this conversation, DK and Ife, and I really hope we get to dive deep into what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes, I'm glad that we all share something else in common. We're Nigerians, and degrees are everything in an African family.
Yes.
You must go to school. You must be a doctor. We have a doctor here, so it's something that we've grown up knowing that we needed to do. But when it comes to soft skills, FK, I would like to start with you. What's your own definition of a soft skill, and why do you think we need it? So it's two questions.
Yes. So, I mean, you said to us that, our backgrounds are very similar, and in our times, with the things that we focused on was books, qualifications, and even more qualifications, what's next. And I feel like we sometimes neglect the soft skills that's also just as important. So for me, soft skills is the interpersonal, the people skills, the everything else that your qualifications is wrapped around. Because you can have two people with the same qualifications, with the same degrees, but one is excelling. Why is that? And I always feel it's because of soft skills. And we're now in a generation where what you look like on paper can only get you so far. People meet with you, they interact with you, and they say, okay, this is somebody that I can work with, or this is somebody that's vital for the next role, vital for the role that I'm advertising. So I think it's very, very important. It's something that I've had to develop and learn in my career. I've got the qualification, praise the Lord, I'm a medical doctor. And then what next? There's thousands of doctors with the qualification. What makes you stand out? And that's what soft skills is. That's how I define soft skills. That's what I see when I talk about soft skills.
I know you mentioned something amazing, and if I'll go to you, you said, I have the qualifications. What next? I think it's amazing we talk about that. So, if from your own perspective, why do you think as Africans we struggle with soft skills, and what do you even define as soft skills?
Thank you, DK. And I think I was probably backstage. I was shaking my head vigorously as FK was talking earlier on. And yes, DK, you did sort of hit the nail on the head. We come from a culture, and I don't think it's just in Africa as well. I think also even in the Western world where some technical skill is required. So unlike Africa, where we say you've got to go to the university, you've got to get a degree. Yeah, they push apprenticeship and T-level technical skills, etc., so that you can get some technical expertise that you can then apply on the job. For example, you could learn coding, or you could learn to be a doctor, or you could learn to be a marketer like me, and that is a technical skill to deliver on the job. But soft skills are more of character traits and interpersonal skills that characterize relationships with other people. And also what it does is it complements hard skills in the workplace. FK is spot on. Employers want to know that you can work well with others. And soft skills are those social attributes that enable you to interact effectively with others. These skills are critical for success in most careers, I dare to say in all careers actually, because they help you build and maintain relationships. They help you navigate complex situations and help you achieve both corporate and personal goals. Like I would say from a personal experience, I have sat on interview panels where we had really strong candidates, and the deciding factor was which one of them sort of exudes the energy, the competency when it comes to soft skills like collaboration or effective communication or ability to influence over the other strong candidate, and then they get the job because they've got these other skills beyond just their technical skills. I'm going to pause there because I know we're going to go into a bit more about soft skills, but I'd say this is what is needed in this age and time, other than just the add technical skills.
I love that. I think it's wonderful that we are growing up in a generation where we have so much access to information. You mentioned something. Someone came for an interview, and people came for an interview, and you're always looking at not just the technical skills, but the ability to relate. So, Kemi, I think I'll come to you. What are the soft skills you believe people should have? If you're going to start with mentioning a couple of soft skills, which ones would you say they are? The critical ones that we need to progress in the workplace. Let's not just talk about the workplace, in your professional and personal life. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are loads of soft skills, and I'm really glad that we're entering into a season where we're going to be talking a lot about soft skills. But, you know, they're the common ones such as communication skills, interpersonal skills, the ability to adapt and critical thinking, the ability to assess what's going on in your environment, the ability to work in a team as well, because in this world, nobody is a lone rider. You know, everybody works in a team in a certain aspect, you know, and we always need to be able to communicate, not just with our colleagues, but with our clients, with our friends, with our families. So communication skills is very, very important. So there's quite a few different soft skills that we need to be working on and developing on. And we're going to be going into more of that in the next few podcasts that we're going to be having as well. But Effie, I don't know if I've missed any. What else do you think is vital? What are the vital soft skills, do you think?
Thank you, FK. I think that there's a bit of research out there that lists out the soft skills, and they're put in different boxes and categories. But I know in the UK, there are ones that are actually recognized, and some providers do training specifically on the 12 of them, like they are CPD approved. I'm going to quickly list the 12 of them, and we can sort of touch on a couple of them. And FK, you mentioned some, but they include things like work planning and service skills, self-management. So how do you manage yourself, your emotions, your time? There's also time management specifically. Another is one thing that is really critical for like Africans. So there is no African time in the Western world. You've got to have good time management skills. You start a meeting on the dot, you finish 30 minutes or 1 hour, whatever how long the meeting is, don't overrun. Manage your time in terms of when you need to deliver work, etc. There's communication skill, FK, you've talked about it already. I'll put influencing as part of communication as well, because you must be able to influence just not your immediate team, but influence upward and downward as well. And also amongst your peers as well. There is teamwork or collaboration, really, really vital, because you cannot work in silos. More workplaces are beginning to push for more collaborative work with other teams. There's problem solving skill as a soft skill. this is not the technical problem solving skill. This is more how can I have that entrepreneurial sort of mindset where I'm not waiting for someone to tell me what the problem is. I can identify the problem and provide a solution. Also, there's critical thinking as well. How are you able to draw on insight and trends to inform the decisions you make as an organization? There is creativity and innovation. How can you do things differently? How can you push the boundaries? How can you be creative or add a bit of innovation? How is it done in other worlds? How can you apply that learning or that thinking? Or how has it been done before? And how can you apply that learning to deliver it even better? There's adaptability and resilience. How can you keep going despite different barriers and setbacks? There's decision making, which is critical. There's negotiation and conflict management. I think the conflict management is really key. Do you run away from challenges? Do you run away from conflict? How do you deal with awkward conversations with your seniors or with your people that your direct reports? How do you take feedback? How do you take criticism at work? So what is your conflict management like? And the last one I'll just touch on is reflection and self-development. How are you taking on all of the learnings you've sort of taken while on the job? Or how are you thinking about the impact of your work and how it leads to the bigger picture of that the organization is trying to deliver? And also, how are you, what plans have you got to learn and develop to make sure you're constantly adding value, not just to your immediate team, but to the wider organization? So I think these are soft skills. They don't teach us these things in school, in the university, but these are the things we need to actually progress in our career.
I think when you mentioned them, I was like, wow, self-management. So this thing. So now my question for both of you is this. You know, your LinkedIn profile, since we're live on LinkedIn, you're supposed to write skills. Do you write the soft skills as the skills that you're having? Because you made the mention of 12. So what do you think people should do? Should they include them in their profile, or what would you say?
FK, do you want to go first?
No, I was going to say 100%, because I think with hard skills, you can easily list it and say, these are my hard skills. These are the things that I'm qualified in to do. These are the qualifications that I've obtained. But the soft skills will give you the edge. It'll give you the edge. So there's a way you need to be able to implement this into your CV, into your LinkedIn profile. So with hard skills, you just tend to list. Whereas with soft skills, you give a sentence. You know, when you're talking about your experiences, the things that you've been through, how you problem solved, how you completed a task with your previous team, you have to find a way of putting a sentence that highlights that. You don't just say, oh, I'm good at working as a team, or I'm a good listener, I have great communication skills. You can't just put that, you can't list that in your CV. True. You have to say something like, oh, you know, in this job role that I had, I worked together with my team to overcome this specific task, which required a lot of organization to be able to meet the deadline. So you have to word it more in a sentence, but I think it's crucial that you put it there so that the employers can pick you out.
All right, awesome. Efe, what about you? What do you reckon?
I actually agree with FK, and it goes just beyond even your resume and your LinkedIn profile, but also when you go for job interviews. I think I work in the civil service. In the civil service, we've got like technical expertise and behavior. So basically, you're tested on both. But for some interviews, you might not be asked to demonstrate behavior competence. So behavior tends to be more of soft skills, like communicating and influencing, collaborating. Basically, they ask you specifically, can you give us an example of a time where you have led a team to do this?
Yes.
If you don't attend interviews like that, where they ask you behavior-specific questions that tailor to your soft skills, you've got to weave it in, and then you've got to put a bit of metrics to it. So, for example, I led a team to deliver a project to time and achieved X percentage of efficiency, or saved time, or saved money, or if you're a marketer, reach X and X number of people. Because again, it is a skill. There's an impact that is linked to the skill. So when you're demonstrating your ability to your competency for that skill, you must match it with the impact you're making while delivering on the job.
All right, fantastic. And I think for me, yes, I will say you should. So I will ask myself that question and I will answer yes. When you're looking at your LinkedIn profile, there's sometimes that there are skills that you can mention that you have and people could endorse you for. But if you're going to list the skills and you know the skills that people are looking for in your sector, then you should be able to list the skills. And one thing I will digress a little bit, but one thing that we have culturally is that we do not know how to sell ourselves. Because when Efe was speaking, I just thought about it. But we feel that we shouldn't really say when we've done certain things. We withhold our achievements. We undermine what we've done. So as someone that is working, both of you are working in the public sector, but as people that are working in different sectors, as a medical doctor and as a marketing professional, what would you say people should do when it comes to expressing and telling people what they've done? You mentioned competence, you mentioned metrics, you mentioned a couple of things. So I think people would like to know, why are these things important? Why is it important to document these things and know these things, then speak about it consistently? I'll start with you, FK, then I'll come to you, Efe.
I think it's very important because, let's be honest, for every application, how many people are applying? You know, there's so many people that sound and look like you on paper. You then need to bring yourself out. You need to make yourself stand out. And this is why it's very important to let people know about these skills. I always feel like, okay, your hard skills, your qualifications enables you to do the job. But the soft skills is what's going to enable you to do the job well. It's going to enable you to do the job to the standard that the employee is seeking. And you need to be able to communicate that. You know, if an employer has 1,000 applications, why are you different? Why should it be you? Because if it comes to grades and things, you know, there's always somebody better. But what makes you stand out is the soft skills that's unique to you. And you have to be able to sell that. You have to be able to tell the employer that this is me, I've come to your platform and this is what I can offer you. I can communicate, I can work in a team. And you need to be able to give examples as well, because it's always hard to say, well, it's hard to prove. Unlike hard skills, it's hard to prove the soft skills that you have without giving examples. So everything that you've been through, all your life experiences that you've been through, they are the markers that you'll be able to communicate to employers and say, these are the things I've been through, and these are the soft skills that I demonstrated. And I'm continuing to work on these soft skills. And I believe that by employing me, by taking me on, that not only will I be able to do the job, but I'll be able to put a mark of excellence on it. I hope that answers your question. I hope I'm explaining.
Yeah, perfect. You did answer my question. So I'm going to bring Efe back and ask him the same question.
Yeah, happy to comment quickly. When I think of soft skills, actually, what comes to mind is when you see someone and they say to you, "I can swim." Mm-hmm. What you ask them is not the certificate that shows that they can swim. What you do is you actually throw them in the water and you see whether or not they can swim. Just make sure to have a lifeguard just in case. But the same thing with cooking. If you say, I'm a chef, I've got the skill, then I put you in the kitchen and then I get you to cook. If you're going to an employer and you want to demonstrate your soft skill, it is not a certificate. You've got to, like FK said, you've got to have examples. And again, back to LinkedIn, you've got to have people that can actually attest to the fact that you can deliver that soft skill. So it is really crucial that you document your sort of the experiences that help you build that soft skill, or gives a narrative of how you've demonstrated that soft skill, because that is what you need to then show as the results or your ability to actually deliver. But something I was going to say again is it also helps you track your progress and your growth as well. Just like swimming, you can be like a beginner, you can go to intermediary, you can go to like experts, depending on how long you spend in the pool or how much you sort of exert yourself and apply yourself. The same thing applies to soft skill. The fact that I can say I am a communication expert or I've got soft skill in communicating and influencing does not mean that I am there. It means that I can have an experience that lets me influence, for example, amongst my peers, but perhaps I need to expand a bit more to learn how to influence upward. And then I'll get thrown into a different scenario where actually I learn to do that upward, and then that is fine. And then other complex situation or scenarios come in, and where I've got like awkward stakeholders or difficult stakeholder, and I've still got to influence them, there's a level of growth. But if you're not documenting the different experiences and the different scenarios, you probably would not be able to tell where you are in terms of your development of that soft skill, and then what you then need more to learn to then be a master of that soft skill.
Awesome. I love that. And when you talk about documenting, there's something I always tell people that I coach, and it's simply have your brag book, have a place where you save certain things. It's not when you need it that you start saying, oh, this is a soft skill I need. And there are some scenarios that you go through in the office or something that goes on, and you don't even realize the impact you had, how you were able to use soft skills, because nobody's going to ask you, what are your soft skills? But one thing that we're confident about is the workspace is changing. We're going from full-time work, everybody coming into remote work. So in an environment that is hybrid and you're working across time zones, you're working with different people coming into the office, how do you now position yourself to succeed? So now let's do something for people that are already in the workplace. I've gotten the job. How do I demonstrate that I actually am what the promotion or being assigned certain roles, even though it's remotely? So who wants to go first? I think I will throw it to both of you.
I'm happy to go in. And I think
All right,
you raised
okay.
a very valid point. There's something I always say to people, always in your inbox, create a praise folder. So I call it a praise folder. I do this all the time, and I really encourage everyone there to please do it. And what is a praise folder? Whenever you get a compliment from a client or your manager or anyone at all regarding any job that you have done, always just file it into your praise folder. And the reason is because you will go through moments where actually you begin to doubt yourself, or you think you're not delivering as you should, or you're going to have quarterly review or annual review. You go to your praise folder to remind yourself, or as evidence of the actual things that you have done. Now, in terms of progressing at work, actually, I think as part of your one-to-ones, I want to believe people would have one-to-ones with their managers. As part of your one-to-ones with your manager, please always just include as a constant agenda things around growth when it comes to soft skills. So you want to ask your line manager whether or not you're delivering the relevant one for your type of work and what you can do to improve on the more. And when you've got compliments like that, make sure you are also putting your line manager in sight of it, just so because again, it might have just come from a different arm of the organization and your line manager might have not been cited in emails like that. Always make sure that those people that actually should see that you're doing a great work actually are seeing you deliver those soft skills, that demonstrates those soft skills. I'd say again, please do not shy away from an opportunity to do public relations, so PR for yourself. What does that mean? Promote yourself. Volunteer to do activities, lead a team, be visible. Because again, when it comes to the table where decisions are made, people actually do not just put people forward. They put people forward, people that they are aware of their expertise, both technical and soft skill. And so they recommend you based on the level of understanding they have of you or the level of your expertise they are aware of. So if you're not selling yourself to the right people who are the decision makers in your organization, then you're selling yourself short. Now, I'm going to say something again, particularly this is relevant for the Black community. And I was having this conversation with someone recently, and the person said to me, my organization, they tend to be systemic racism, etc. And what I said to this person was, you've got to ensure that you are delivering to a level where your work is undeniable. I won't say like we don't have systemic racism or doesn't occur. I just always zero my mind and I just believe that, you know what, it can happen to everyone else. I'm not going to let it happen to me because I'm going to work so hard, both technical and soft skill. Make sure my work is undeniable and let my work speak for itself, other than just basically because you can be promoting yourself and you not have the actual quality of work that you're delivering. So we're saying promote yourself, but also put your head down, deliver the job, demonstrate these soft skills, and let your work also speak for you. Let it be undeniable. And that is the way to progress.
I like that. Let your work be undeniable. So let's go to FK and let's see what she has to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, Efe covered quite a lot of it, but I think the one thing that I want to say is self-assessment. It's very, very important. You mentioned something, DK. You said, okay, you've got the job. Congratulations. what next? And I think what people do is like they get the job, and then whilst they're in the job, they focus on the hard skill. They focus on delivering from the hard skill perspective. But we should always be performing self-assessment. We should always be aware of our surroundings. Okay, I can do the job. We know you can do the job. You wouldn't get the job if they don't feel you can do the job. So what next is, how can you brand yourself to make sure that not only are you delivering the job, but you have an excellence atmosphere around you. So I would say self-assessment, and be honest with yourself. So self-assess yourself. Get your colleagues to self-assess you. Get your boss to self-assess you. Ask for honest feedback. Okay, I did this job, but what could I do better? What weren't you satisfied with? Or if you feel like there's a role that you want to get to, because I hear about a lot of people, they want to be promoted to a role, and they find that even though they're delivering in respect to their hard skills, they're not being given that role. And I said, okay, go and meet your boss and find out, why is it that I'm not getting that role? Why is it that you're not putting me forward for that role? And most of the time, you will find it's because of a certain soft skill that you have not developed. For instance, maybe the next role involves you having leadership skills, involves you being able to communicate, it involves you being more organized. You can deliver the work, but you're not organized. You're chaotic. You don't turn up to work on time. And in order for you to be promoted, you need to be able to show organization skills. You need to be able to show time management skills. But if you don't speak to your boss or speak to your colleagues, you won't get this. So we need to stop focusing. I mean, like I said, it's very good that you've got the hard skills, but we need to put just as much weight on soft skills. And a lot of us, we don't actually self-assess ourselves to see, okay, what is it I'm lacking? I mean, I'll give you an example. In my workplace, we had a doctor come from Nigeria to do obs and gynae, and he was the best. He passed all the exams. He was the top in all the exams. He was the best. His skills were immaculate. But within 3 months, he was facing disciplinary actions. And that's because he lacked so much soft skills. Obs and gynae, you're dealing with women. He didn't know how to communicate with people. He didn't know how to work with people. He didn't know how to speak to the nurses. He didn't know how to follow instructions from other colleagues and consultants. And it wasn't that he wasn't good at his job. He just lacked the soft skills. And that's because where he was coming from, soft skills was not emphasized. And that's why you need to understand that when you're entering a new environment, you need to make sure you're aware and you are critically self-assessing yourself all the time, because soft skills is what's going to take you to the next level. I feel like your skills, your hard skills will get you into the door. Your soft skills will take you to the next level.
Awesome. I like that. I think I was going to ask you guys to give me an example, and you just did that, because that's when a soft skill was going to cost someone their career. But I would like to hear from both of you now. If someone says, okay, we've had this conversation about the importance of soft skills, I know that I have to self-assess, but I have no idea where to start. Because I don't want to kind of outsource my personal growth. I know I should speak with my friends, I should speak with my colleagues, but right now I'm lost. Where should someone start if they want to think about improving their soft skills? FK.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Ife.
No, I didn't say any name. When Ife looked at me, I just said, okay, FK.
All our names sound very similar. So.
Honestly.
You know what? I was actually thinking about you when you said that statement. Where do you start? I think a really good place to start from is the people that employed you. They got you into the door. It's always good. I always say after an interview, whether you pass the interview or not, always go back and collect feedback from them. That's a very good place to start. Okay, what is it that you liked about me that allowed me to get this job? What do you think I need to work on? Because if they give you positive feedback, you take that and then you say, okay, this is something that I can even work on to improve even better, because they really like this about me. If somebody told me that, oh, I really like the fact that you're really good at communicating, I'd be like, okay, let me put a pin on that. So communication is a strength of mine. How can I make it better? If somebody says to me that, you know what, I understand you've been working as a soloist all this time. You need to start working in a team. put a pin on that. Okay, I need to work on I'm working on a team. I need to work on how I can build my team building skills. So that's a good place to start. And then speaking to your colleagues, what soft skills are they working on? They've been in this position. When you enter a new place, there are people there that have been in that position before you. What is it they're working on? What is it that they've seen and they've learned that they feel is important for them to develop? Because if they feel it's important for them to develop that soft skill, then take it on board. If somebody feels it's important to develop leadership skills in your office, then take that on board. Okay, how can I develop leadership skills? And there are different ways to develop these things. You start by reading about it, watching podcasts about it, even what we're doing here. This is a good way of starting. You need to get the information. But with soft skill, it's not just about reading. Just like if it gave the example about swimming, you can read as much as you want about swimming. Read about all the technical skills for swimming. But until you jump in the water and swim, you can never develop it. So you just have to read about it so that you know. Because if you don't know, you won't develop. You won't know what to develop, so that you know. Once you have read about it, once you're speaking to other people about it, you've kind of sampled the work environment, then you can start to develop on specific skills. And I think it's always important to make sure that you pick one or two things that you're focusing on. If you're focusing on 5 soft skills at a time, you're not going to get anywhere. You need to say, okay, this season of my life, this period of my life, based on the work that I'm doing right now, these are the 1 or 2 major soft skills that I need to focus on right now that I believe will give me the edge. Focus on that, read about it, and then start to develop it. Start to take risks and jump in the pool, basically, and start. You're not going to be great immediately. If somebody doesn't have communication skills and they're asked to do a presentation, they're not going to be great immediately. Mm-hmm. But this is a personal experience that I had. You just have to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. Start with the little things and work on it and build on it and build on it. And then before you know it, you're presenting to a whole hall of people, a whole theater of people. But it's because you started by presenting to 5 or 6 people in your meeting. Yeah. So if you shy away from the little things, you'll never get to the big things. So use the opportunities around you to maximize and develop the soft skills that you feel is relevant for the environment that you're in.
I love that. You said do your self-assessment, which is something I encourage people to do. And I think when you're doing your self-assessment, it's about being honest with yourself and talking about the person you are today, not the person you wish you were. Because sometimes we wish we were acting in a certain way and we can overgrade ourselves, rather than being honest, being transparent with yourself, and doing that assessment. So I love that. But let's get Efe on stage. Yes, Efe, same question.
Thank you, DK. I'd say FK has covered a large chunk of it. You've got to speak to people at work, leadership at work, to try and understand what is needed. But something I'm going to add on top of that, and just for context, I'd say if there's anyone out there that feels like they do not know where to start or they do not know where to begin, you're in good company. And lots of people actually do not know where to start. So you're not alone in this. And this is why we've got a platform like 3PM. And this is what we're doing. This is what we're dedicated to do, actually, to help people understand the soft skills, the gaps in their soft skill, and then also then empower them with those soft skills, providing opportunities for them to still develop those soft skills. I'd say what I'm going to add on top of what FK mentioned is find a mentor. Find someone who is already succeeding in your line of career, who is a couple of steps ahead of you, who currently occupies the role that you want to go into next. And then have very honest conversations with them about how the skills and the way that they delivered to actually get them to that position. And then just like FK said, do a bit of self-assessment to see where the gaps are. So where exactly are you not demonstrating that level of expertise in terms of soft skill, not just technical expertise, now soft skill, that person that you want to sort of fill their role, or you want to get into a similar role like this, is demonstrating. And then you can then start to look for ways to have the knowledge. So knowledge is always key, but also then apply the knowledge by sort of throw yourself into a situation that would help you then sort of develop that skill. I'll give a good example so that we're not talking hypothetically. Say currently I am a marketing officer and there is a marketing manager, and I've had conversations with my mentor, who is the marketing manager, and I've sort of understood that for you to be a marketing manager, you need to learn the skill of communicating and influencing. I'm going to use influencing upward. So working with the CEOs or working with like top senior people or top policy officials and influencing their decision, convincing them to see things the way you're saying it, to achieve the corporate objective. So now that I know that I do not have that skill, I can then go on to, there are lots of resources online. You can Google it. There are lots of training providers as well that provide free trainings as well about influencing upward or influencing senior colleagues. And then I can learn all of the knowledge about how to influence senior colleagues. So some of them might be, for example, using insights, doing pilot programs before you go large scale, etc. There are different ways to influence upward, but I think lots of them really like insights. They like to sort of get the picture of what you're trying to deliver and link it back to the corporate objective and how to benefit them. So now that I have the knowledge, what is the next step? Then I go on to throw myself into scenarios, probably go to my line manager and say, you know what, I want to learn, I want to apply this knowledge of influencing upward. What are the different projects or what are the different scenarios where I can actually apply myself? And then you can then apply the knowledge of that soft skill that you've learned, in this case, influencing upward, in a live scenario where you can actually then influence people at work. And you can do that over time to continue to grow when it comes to influencing and communicating. So I think that is one way actually to develop and grow your soft skill.
I think in line with what both of you have said, one thing I will add to that is, because it's fantastic when you talked about going to your line manager, but some people we're talking to may not have line managers yet. So that's one thing I want to say is, although you could have mentors and have everybody, do not outsource your personal growth. You have to take ownership of it. It's not something that you can outsource to someone else. Someone can offer you guidance. A coach can tell you what to do, but the coach is not going to get on the field to play that match for you. I don't understand football, but I think that's what works. However, what the coach can do is give you directions. Your mentors can give you directions. Your line managers can give you directions, but the person that has to take action is you. And when we take action, what I observed, the mistake I used to make is I would take action, but I wasn't reflecting and using existing data. That the data I'm talking about is from my actions and inactions to know where I'm winning and where I'm not. So what I'll say is take action, take it consistently, but do that, have that time where you can reflect to see how you're growing. Oh, in this scenario, I didn't do so well. What are the changes I'm going to make? What am I going to do differently next time? That way you are being honest with yourself and you're able to make informed decisions, because whatever you're doing with your life, it's about self-improvement. We always want to be the best version of ourselves. So even if we're talking about soft skills right now, it's also about improving yourself. You can say, you can always be better. That's just what I wanted to add to that. So I'm going to bring FK because we're coming close to the end of today's thing. So if you're just joining us, we are 3PN group. We are talking about soft skills, and I will let FK introduce 3PN a little bit more. So for those that just joined us, they will know who we are, what we do, and how they can connect with us.
Yes, so we're 3PN. We're really passionate about this group, FA, DK, and I. So 3PN is a social enterprise network. And what we do, or our aim, is to empower young Black people with the soft skills that they need to progress in their career, to change career, to make the right decisions in their career. So we always look at the people. The people is what's important to us. We always analyze and say, okay, what do the people need to progress? And that's why we're here. We're here to provide you with the resources. We're here to provide you with the knowledge. We're here to provide you with the network to learn, to grow, to see, or to even self-assess, the knowledge to self-assess yourself so that you can be the better you, so that you can advance in your career, so that you can know where to go to access different resources. So I think it's important for people to take advantage of a network like this. And we have so much coming up. So this is just the beginning of the things that we're going to be doing. So thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. If you're not following us already, please follow us. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on LinkedIn. Just if you want to sign up as well, because we also publish newsletters with information about our events, information about our podcast, and also opportunities that are out there for jobs, for apprenticeship. So make sure you sign up as well. And I'm sure the information is going to come up later on. But that's who we are. We're just a passionate group of people that are passionate about seeing you succeed in your career.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I know we've done quite a few things in the past because we've not just spoken about soft skills only. So I would think I'm going to put Ife on the spot and I'm going to ask you to talk about what we've done this year in 2024. I mean, I'm 2023. I apologize. I'm in the future already. What we've done in 2023 and how people can connect with us if they want to support us or follow us. Thank you. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you, DK. So in 2023, I think it has really been a big one for us at 3PN in terms of being clear on our direction and how we can empower young Black professionals. In this year, we have had series of events, both in-person events and virtual events, where we brought in speakers from different walks of life that are currently delivering at an excellent space. In an excellent space in their different careers to sort of take us through the journey of how they got there and lessons we can learn and things we can apply in our own jobs or our daily lives to actually progress in our careers. We've got more events coming up next year. I'd say please stay tuned. Just keep in touch with us through our social media platform, like FK said, and also on our website to get more information. Also, every month, we have got podcast series. What we're looking to do over the next 12 months is to dedicate 1 month past soft skills. So earlier on, we talked about 12 different soft skills. Part of the things we're looking to do is do a deep dive into a particular soft skill per month, and through our podcast bring guest speakers who have got expertise or currently delivering to an excellent standard using that soft skill to share examples or scenarios or tips that they've applied in their own careers that can actually be useful for ours as well. So I'd encourage us to please stay tuned as well. We've got podcast series coming out as well, so you can stay connected with us on social to get more information on how you can listen to the podcast, because it's going to come out every month on a weekly basis. And also we've got our newsletter that comes out every month. What we do with our newsletter is we do a deep dive also into that particular soft skill we're addressing for the month. But what we also do is share useful resources. So we might share other podcasts or books that you can read that can address that particular soft skill that we're addressing for the month. And I think people have found this useful as well. Getting the knowledge is also good so that you can know what you need to apply, where the gaps are. So watch out for our newsletter. If you're not already a member, please go on to 3pngroup.com to sign up to our newsletter so that you can get the next one that would go out. I believe, I don't know if I can say this here, but the next one we're going to touch on actually is communicating and influencing. And we're looking to bring in a guest who has got expertise. We're going to address that in the month of December. So please watch out for that. And we've got more rolling out over the space of 2024 as well. So yeah, these are some of the things. And also crucial as well, one of the things we do is about mentorship. I talked about mentorship earlier on, finding someone who is a leader in your space of your career line. And what we do actually is also help you understand the role of mentorship and how you can harness that for your career progression. So please do stay tuned, stay connected with us, join the network, join the community to tap into all of the resources, all of the networking opportunities as well. Because I think these are really crucial things for us to advance our careers as Black professionals.
Awesome. Thank you. So I'm coming close to the end of today's session, but if you have any questions or anything, you can put them in the chat while we're giving our final words. Now, not just relating to soft skills. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot. What's the best piece of advice? I'm going to ask you different questions, so don't smile that you're getting the first. Okay, what's the best piece of advice you've received that helped you develop and improve yourself? What was the best piece of advice you received?
So I think for me, it's you're better than you think you are. That first hit me when I got that advice, because a lot of the time you think, okay, I'm at my best, I'm doing really well. But that advice for me highlighted the fact that there's always more. There's always more. Never be comfortable where you are. Never think, okay, I've reached my maximum. This is who I am. I'm, even if you're at the top, you're at the top of your game, you're better than everyone, you're leading everyone, everybody comes to you for advice. Always understand, always have it in your heart that there's more. There's more to me. I can always learn more. I can always grow more. I can always develop more. And that's the importance of soft skills. And it's even a soft skill. The willingness to learn is a soft skill. So when you have that willingness to learn, and you can learn from anybody, you can learn from the person that's coming to ask you a question. You can learn from the person that you're training. You can learn from every environment, the work environment, the family environment, the social environment. Always have it in mind, wherever I find myself, what can I learn from this? What can I take away from this? How can I improve myself even more? Yes, everybody's patting you in the back. That presentation was excellent. I wish I could speak like you. I wish I could give presentations like you. I wish I could speak like you. Those are the kind of feedback you get. But always go home and think, that was good, but what can I do better next time? And if you have that willingness to keep growing, if you understand that there's always more to you, then you will even surprise yourself what you can do.
I love that. I don't know what I was expecting, but if you're willingness to know that there is always more to you, that's something that will stay with me for a very long time. Thank you very much, FK. Now, Ife, your question is this. What do you believe? Because you said you're into fashion and you work full time. I don't know how you're creating the time, but what do you think the key to staying stable in a fast paced environment, especially since you're juggling two things? What's the key to doing that?
I think that is an interesting one. I'd say the key to staying grounded is having the vision in mind, having your definition of success and being clear on your definition of success. I think I said this to lots of people and in lots of meetings. If you're close to me, you probably would have heard me say, what does success look like? Because what happens is once you can define success up front, then you can walk backward. Or even when you're juggling multiple priorities, you're able to allocate resource. So when I say resource, but your time, your energy, your creativity to the work stream that would contribute the most towards success. So having clarity on what success looks like on every project, every relationship, every dealing that you have is really crucial. So when we talk about soft skills, what does success look like? Define it, have a picture of it, and then walk backwards. What do I need to do to then define the success so that when you're juggling multiple priority, you're able to then allocate, you know what to delegate, you know what to do yourself, you know where to get more knowledge, you know where to exert more energy, to then deliver the success that you're after. So getting clarity on success is fundamental.
Okay. I don't know what I was expecting from both of you, but amazing insight. What the success mean to you? Because everybody's definition of success is different. Some people is more cars, some people is impact. So I really love that. I think for me, it's always about understanding your values, understanding who you are. I always say, remember the family I come from. And so family is important to me. So what's your highest value? Everybody has something that is their priority, is the highest value that they hold on to. And if self-improvement is a high value for you, then do the work. One thing I'll leave everybody with as we come to the end of today's session is do the boring work. Don't only look for the exciting work, do the boring work, do what's behind the scenes. Some people just like the idea of succeeding and being in certain roles, why they don't want to improve themselves. They're not committed to doing the boring work consistently. So when it comes to communication, do the boring work, read the books, write, communicate in front of your camera, watch the video, delete, and keep on moving on. That's just what I want to say. But any last words for everybody today?
Last words from me is
Yes,
write the vision, because it's easy to say this is what I want to be in your mind, but until you write it down, if you don't write it down, you will not start to make the steps that you need to make to get to that place, you know. And many people for years have a vision of what they want to be or what they want to achieve, but because they've never written it down, you know, 5 years, 10 years, they still have that vision, but they've made no move to get closer. So my advice, the last thing I want you to take down is write the vision, make it plain, and start to work towards it.
Amazing. Write the vision, make it plain. Effie, up to you.
Two things. I'd say be realistic with your goals. Actually,
Yes.
don't set so high ambitions. And the second thing is actually failure is a part of the journey to success. Be kind to yourself. It's okay to fail, yeah, but when you're falling,
True.
fall forward. Don't fall and stay there. So if you're gonna succeed, you're gonna fail. It's part of the
True.
learning. It's part of the learning journey as well. So be kind to yourself.
Amazing, Effie. Be kind to yourself. Those wonderful last words to end today's live broadcast. This is our first 3 p.m. podcast live broadcast. We bring
Yeah.
more to you. We don't know yet. This was a test run, but I had an amazing time with you, Effie and
Yeah.
FK. Thank you so much for joining me. And for the rest of you, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah.
We'll leave you with these words. Be kind to yourself, write the vision, and just do it. Do the boring work also. Thank you so much for joining us today and have a wonderful day. Bye.